What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we have the Zoomrig. Who is Zoomrig? What is Zoomrig? Where is Zoomrig? I don't know what Zoomrig is, but they are cooking, okay? Because they are coming in and they are making peak. Let's start off with this Daredevil right here. And it looks great. It's got that cartoonish, kind of like anime-ish, kind of comic-ish, blend of so many different elements, and I love it. I think it looks great. Look at the accessories. They're stacked, unmasked, masked, angry, looking really good. I really hope that the prices aren't too high because, man, Zoomrig is absolutely cooking, and you're going to see in this video, they're going crazy. So we got this Daredevil right here. This is a solid looking Daredevil. I had the Fluff Toys one. I wasn't too crazy about it. It was too big. It looked okay, but like this is looking like a solid Daredevil figure aside from Marvel Legends and Mafex. This is looking peak. Right? So actually it's come to my attention that the Zoomrig Daredevil is actually a stolen concept art from the artist that made the design. Let's talk about it. That's very interesting, and I actually was wondering why I'm not seeing a lot of information about this figure until I specifically checked on Twitter, where the person who made the design for the character actually spoke up about it, and it's very, very interesting here. Let me read this to you guys. He says, "Hello guys, my name is David Herzen and I am an Instagram artist. I usually draw characters in Marvel Rivals art style, and today happened something insane. The Chinese company Zoomrig stole my Daredevil design to make a figure and is now selling it. I know the character itself doesn't belong to me, but this is still my interpretation. They did this without Marvel's approval and without my consent. Please don't support this theft." That's crazy. And before I made this figure video, I actually came back to record this segment where I was like, hold on, this is interesting. Now I didn't even know this. I was saying it's a Marvel Rivals figure, but actually it's not even a Marvel Rivals figure. It's a stolen concept art piece from a artist on Instagram, and it's now being used without the consent of the artist, without the consent or approval of Marvel. And this lies with a lot of legal uncertainty, and makes me question how a company like this can even make their figures or put their figures on display and showcase them at a festival like this without actual I'm sure that they have a lot of figures on display that are pending licensing approval, but wow, the morality of companies making stuff without I'm sure this happens a lot, but it's really interesting now to see that happen here on display, right? And I want to bring this information to you because I know there's a lot of people who have a heavy conscience when it comes to supporting companies and supporting people who steal artwork. Just wanted to bring this to your attention, but let's get back into the video. So let's move along to the Invincible figures. And man, oh man, if you were excited for the Jada Toys Invincible figures, let me tell you something. You're going to be excited about these Zoomrig figures because these Zoomrig figures look insane, all right? We have this Omni Man that looks incredible. It honestly does. It kind of looks like a blend of Mafex and something else. It's got its own little twist to it, right? And the proportions look a little silly to me. I think he looks a little too skinny, because I feel like he should be a little bit wider, but then he also is his shoulders are popping out a little bit, so I'm a little iffy about these proportions, right? But the figure looks fire. The head sculpts look pretty decent actually, and I think it just looks great overall. It does look solid. We get a soft goods cape there. It looks like it has a wire in it. He comes with cross arms. I gotta tell you guys, I hate cross arms. They're not it, right? Unless they're done well. But if they're done similar to the SHFs, just leave them out. I'm probably gonna throw them out if I ever get this figure. I just can't do cross arms that are similar to the SHFs. SHF has scarred me with the cross arms because I end up taking the arms out, putting on the cross arms, and then you can't put the arm back in, or it's loose after you put it in. But it's you know what? Just forget about it. This is having a more cartoony proportions. If you look at the feet, they're a little bit wider than your typical figures like Mafex. If you look at the proportions on the muscles, they just look a little bit more exaggerated. Again, I think the shoulders could have a little work, and also the abdomen. It probably does make sense that he's skinny, but those shoulders are a little too wide. Maybe it just looks funny because he's standing still, right? But honestly, as a figure overall, I think this looks great. This looks great, and I think it looks a lot better than whatever Jada Toys is gonna make. Then we have Oh man. Let's get the whatever figures out the way first. We have Adam Eve, and honestly, I'm not a fan of Adam Eve. If you like Adam Eve, that's great. You know, she comes with a decent amount of accessories. She looks great. But I really just want to get through this quickly because like the peak is coming. Like the actual peakness. The probably best figure that I see Zoomrig making right now, and probably the best 112, if these are even 112, Invincible. Man. Look at this Invincible figure, right? And I understand I sound a little overly excited, right? I'm not even a big Invincible fan, right? But if you look at this, let's just zoom in a little bit. Look at the sculpt work on this guy. I know he's still in the statue prototype phase, but man, do you see the detail and the sculpt work on this figure? It looks insane. It looks insane. It looks so crazy to me that it's just like, is this even real? Right? The suit looks sculpted very well, but I'm specifically talking about that head sculpt, right? If they manage to pull this head sculpt off in the final product and it looks exactly this way, we're in for a treat. Because this is the best Invincible head sculpt that I've seen. No more Invincible customs, right? And you see he comes with like 5 pairs of heads, like 4 to 5 to like 6 pairs of hands. You know, I'm not even counting at this point. He comes with like an accessory. It comes with like this weird thingy. I don't know what all that is, but like that's looking peak right there. And I'm wondering why the hands look like that. Maybe it's because since they're in prototype phase, they kind of just like cut a part of like the 3D model and then just put it there. Or not 3D model, but like what is it called? Like like you know what I'm talking about. Like the model, they just like kind of like made the hand without the articulation, so it's kind of just like, it's not the hand, but it's kind of like part of the arm showing the forearm, right? But I'm pretty sure in like on release it'll probably be the hands, you know, just pairs of hands, not pairs of arms. This looks great. This looks fantastic, and I got nothing to say about this. You know, just 10 out of 10 peakness. If they can down the articulation, seem to have great articulation. If you look at the Omni Man, he's got, you know, some pretty big butterfly joints. He's got some like awkward joints, right? But it's probably because he's gonna have some great range, right? So I'm super excited to see that. And if you also look at the diaper, it has a different shape. It's got like a crown to it. It looks like a V, right? Rather than like a diaper. It's a lot thinner and it's not as big. So you'll probably get a lot more range out of this guy. I really do appreciate that. And I think it's interesting because it's like a new take, right? It's a new take. It doesn't have the butt flaps of the SHF, but it's not a big diaper like the Mayfix. So very, very interesting design choice here. But as you can see, it does leave some gappage in between the legs. So it's like, well, let's see how this is going to go, right? Let's see how this is going to go. And honestly, Zoomrig, you're exciting me. I love to see this. New competition for figures, for figure companies, for collectors. This is amazing. Honestly, this is like really, really good. It just sucks that this is all happening when tariffs are happening. You know, we're actually getting competitive figure companies or competition in the figure market right when it starts getting more expensive because of tariffs. That sucks. But you know what? We're not going to get into tariffs. This video is about Zoomrig. Zoomrig is looking fire. Let me know if you're going to be picking these up. Let me know if you like Zoomrig. Let me know if you liked what you saw today. You know, like, do you think that these are interesting for you, or you just not care about Zoomrig and you're probably just going to stick to the Jada toys because, you know, those are probably going to be cheaper. Those are probably going to be, you know, more accessible. These are definitely going to have a higher price point for sure. So let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.